So for episode 4 of my mini-series on while swimming in and around Chamonix, I've come to Barberine. If you're a rock climber, you'll be familiar with the little village of Barberine, as the crag here is one of the best multi-pitch valley crags in the area. Indeed, it's absolutely huge. But what's less well known about is the canyoning spot here, which is very popular guided canyoning parties, but also offers great areas to jump in and cool off just for general people. To get here, it's about a 30-minute drive over the Col de Monte from Chamonix into the neighbouring valley. Just about possible to get here by public transport as well. You could get the train to Vallorcine or Le Bouet and then hike, or indeed you can get the train all the way to Chatelard, the frontier, which is the Swiss border, and then pretty much walking distance from there if you wanted to do that. There is also a bus that goes to the Col de Monte itself, which you have to change at in Argentière, but that only runs about 2 or 3 times a day, so it's probably easier just to get the train and then walk and or hitch. Like all the little watercourses around here, which are partially regulated by the hydroelectricity schemes further upstream, there's a big warning sign just there saying do not go in the water, do not go canyoning. But despite that, dozens of guided groups come here every week, and I've just seen 2 walk past me right now, and I think they would know if they're due to be opening the sluice gates, so I'd probably assume it's safe today, but then never can be certain. So it's always worth being aware that at any moment the water level could rise rapidly. If approaching from the road, then this is the first of the 2 main spots that you will reach. To get here, you just simply follow the signs to the climbing crag, go across the river and then turn left and you'll see it. And the river itself is actually the French-Swiss border, which caused a few issues during the lockdowns as different countries came out of lockdown at different times. So at certain times you could climb in Barberine if you're Swiss but not if you're French, or vice versa. So it's a bit of an interesting situation. But anyway, yeah, this is really quick and simple to get to, no scrambling at all. A nice sized little plunge pool just to lie down and cool off in. So this is the second plunge pool. It's only about 50 metres further upstream, but very few people actually come here because it's slightly more difficult to get down to. You've got to scramble down into the canyon a little bit. But all the canyoning groups themselves will have sailed down this from above. There's a couple of rock anchors at the top. Well, I say rock anchors, actually boat anchors. While the water's not that deep, you could still just about, not jump in, but you can certainly submerge yourself fully in it and cool off if you wanted to as well. So this is the main event. This is what I've come here for, but clearly I've chosen a very busy time. The water at its deepest point is only just about 7, maybe 8 foot deep, and generally speaking it's much less than that. So you will actually hit the bottom if you jump in from high up. And I hit the bottom even when I'm jumping in from the lower rocks. So I might not do it today because I've still got my injured knee. But if you are coming here and doing it, you definitely want to make sure you're wearing some kind of footwear, so when you hit the bottom, you've got some cushioning under your feet. I have seen people jumping in right from the very top, right where the people are, up near the top of the zip line, which just seems absolutely mad. So as I say, I'm hitting the bottom when I'm jumping in from halfway down, so I'd be breaking my legs from up there. Normally speaking, I would jump in from near that small tree halfway at the cliff faces where there's someone trying to climb up to now, and from then, as long as you bend your legs when you hit the bottom, it's just about okay. I think it's only a while before I get my turn today.
Yeah!
So I hit the bottom and hurt my knee a little bit, even jumping from that low height, so I don't think I'll be doing any more of the jumps today, unfortunately. But I'll definitely jump from that later in the summer when I've got 2 working legs and doing more jumps. So I'll take some videos then. So there you have it, the plunge pools at Barberine. Definitely one of my favourite places to come on a really hot day. Like today's only about 25 degrees, but when the temperature gets up into the mid-30s, it can just get too unbearably hot to go down the valley to somewhere like Lac Passy, whereas it's always a good 5 degrees cooler up here in the canyon, just above the cold water, than it is even out by the road. And yeah, it's just about big enough that you can actually swim in it. The water's lovely, crystal clear, cold, and you've got the added adventure of the cliffs that you can jump in from. So it's probably I'll give it an 8 out of 10 in my book. A notch up again from the tour because it is bigger, you can jump in. Haven't quite got the same views because you are in a deep canyon, but the waterfalls itself is beautiful, so that kind of makes up for it. Plus you've got the views of the crag of Barberine itself on the walk in and out as well.